By Alison Chu, reporter. Email bio follow September 27 at 6:15 a.m. late Wednesday. A name started trending on Twitter. It wasn't Judge Brett M. Kavanaugh, President Trump's embattled Supreme Court nominee, whose widely anticipated Senate hearing is set to begin Thursday morning. It wasn't Christine Blasey Ford, Deborah Ramirez or Julie Swetnick, the three women who have accused Kavanaugh of sexual misconduct. It was Michael Caputo, a former Trump campaign aide turned political strategist and conservative pundit. Caputo was put in the spotlight after having what many are calling a meltdown on Wednesday night during a heated panel discussion about the allegations against Kavanaugh on Anderson Cooper's AC 360. Watch live. Brett Kavanaugh and Christine Blasey Ford face Senate panel. What started as an impassioned, yet civil, debate quickly deteriorated after fellow panelist and USA Today columnist Kirsten Powers called Caputo out, as he put it, by declaring that men like him and Trump were in fact part of the problem. The alleged offenses involving Kavanaugh happened at a time when women just simply were not believed, and everybody sounded like Donald Trump and Michael Caputo, Powers said. She added, "Just listen to yourself." That's when Caputo lost it. Michael Caputo just had a level red meltdown on CNN, and we are all Jeffrey Toobin's expression during this mess pic. Twitter.com KLDDYUAA40, Laney, at Miss Lanham, September 27, 2018. The show within the show began after a commercial break. At that point, Caputo challenged the credibility of Kavanaugh's accusers, claiming that they don't even remember the details of what happened to them. "I understand something probably happened to Dr. Ford," he said. "I just don't think Brett Kavanaugh was involved. I know his heart." Ashley Estes Kavanaugh revives old-fashioned script in newfangled era. Caputo then turned to Swetnick, the latest woman to come forward, who alleged that Kavanaugh was present at a party in 1982, where she and others were gang-raped. She did not accuse Kavanaugh of raping anyone. The judge has denied all the allegations. For some reason, Ms. Swetnick can't really remember whether she was gang-raped at the first party or the 10th party, and my question to her is, why the heck would you go back to parties where young girls were in a bedroom getting gang-raped by teenagers when you're an adult? Caputo asked incredulously. CNN chief legal analyst Jeffrey Toobin, the show's other guest, fired back sarcastically, "Yeah, and why do these women wear these short skirts? Aren't they just asking for it? Come on, Michael." As the men argued, Powers, the only woman on the panel, and a CNN political analyst, was noticeably silent until Cooper prompted her. "It's just this tactic of attacking a very young woman," she said, as Caputo shook his head and appeared to mouth the word no, before the screen cut to only Powers. Powers explained that she also went to high school in the 1980s, around the same time as the alleged events. "This was a time when women just simply were not believed, and everybody sounded like Donald Trump and Michael Caputo," she said, effectively equating Caputo with a man repeatedly accused of committing acts of sexual aggression, as though he were entitled to do so. "So if you're going to ask why women didn't come forward, Michael, that's your answer. Just listen to yourself." Caputo cut Powers off and proceeded to talk over her. "Stop interrupting me," Powers said. "When there's no witnesses," Caputo said, unfazed. "Stop interrupting me," Powers said, her voice calm. Caputo went on loudly. As the father of daughters, he continued, before Powers said again, "Stop interrupting me. You're going to call me out like that?" Caputo yelled, his face now contorting with visible rage. "Let me tell you this, Powers, I listened to you when you were ranting and raving for 2 segments. Now you can listen to me. Caputo, you don't call me out like that on national television." "Powers, I know what it was like to be a woman during that time period and you don't. Would you give me a chance?" Caputo said, visibly exasperated. Powers did not. Instead, she likened the treatment of sexual assault survivors in the 1980s to how people like Michael initially reacted when black people alleged police brutality. "They said that black people were making it up until there were videos of it," she said, "and then you can't deny anymore that it was made up." Unfortunately, there were no cell phones in the 1980s. "Enough," Caputo said, as though it would make any difference. "I don't get invited on here to be called out by you like this. You're part of the problem," Tucker Carlson says of sexual assault victims who don't speak up. Meanwhile, Cooper's not entirely convincing attempts to moderate what had become a moment of great TV seem to go unacknowledged by Powers and Caputo. "This is inappropriate, all right," Caputo shouted. "Here's the downside," he said. "From now on, every mother of sons, every grandmother of grandsons has to fear for the future of their boys because of people like you, who sit here and take uncorroborated testimony, uncorroborated allegations, against a decent man, and ruin him, because it gets you ratings," he said angrily. Enough of that. After a brief, yet deafening, pause, Powers had only one comment. "That's bonkers, like, literally insane," she scoffed. Toobin, who, uncharacteristically, had not made a sound during the entire Powers-Caputo exchange, chimed in, saying, "I hope young men who sexually assault young women get their lives ruined. I'm not worried about that." Social media was instantly alight with reactions. By early Thursday morning, there were more than 8,700 tweets about Caputo. "Kirsten Powers just owned Michael Caputo on CNN, and he is freaking out," New York Times reporter Cecilia Kang tweeted. "Kirsten Powers just owned Michael Caputo on CNN, and he is freaking out," Cecilia Kang, at Cecilia Kang, September 27, 2018. Other responses were along a similar vein. F. Kirsten Powers utterly destroys Trump sycophant Michael Caputo for blaming the victims. Pic.twitter.com SD39WIFR32, John Aravosis at Aravosis, September 27, 2018. Kirsten Powers just verbally caught Trumpster Michael Caputo. Lori Crosswell, at Lori Criswell, September 27, 2018. Many were quick to draw comparisons between how Powers and Caputo handled themselves during the segment. "This Michael Caputo just took it to crazy town on CNN," Miami New Times reporter Ryan Yousefi tweeted. "This Michael Caputo just took it to crazy town on CNN. He's yelling about little boys having their lives ruined because people will accuse them of rape when they grow up." Ryan Yousefi, at Rismages, September 27, 2018. Watching this again, it's just so notable just how even-tempered and mild-mannered Powers is in making her points, and how Caputo just isn't. Eugene Scott, at Eugene Scott, September 27, 2018. Others sided and sympathized with Caputo. "Good for Caputo," one person tweeted. but I question why he would even consider an interview on at CNN. He should have known he couldn't have an intelligent, non-biased, civil discussion on that network. Bravo. At Michelle Caputo, whatever they are paying you to go on there and put up with that crap, it ain't enough. https://t COFOJXPV4TVI, Jared Kushner's Spygate began with Brennan. At Jared Kushner, September 27, 2018. The debate continued beyond the segment as both Powers and Caputo took to social media after it aired. "Yes, I called out his victim blaming, and he lost it," Powers wrote on Twitter. "Yes, I called out his victim blaming, and he lost it." https://t.co/mibjkn4wti Kirsten Powers, at Kirsten Powers, September 27, 2018. Caputo responded, tweeting, "You got personal with a fellow panelist in your first comment. You've got nothing else to offer? Sad. You got personal with a fellow panelist in your first comment. You've got nothing else to offer? Sad. Number midterms." At Michelle Caputo, September 27, 2018. Additionally, he retweeted more than 30 tweets in which people applauded him for his appearance on the show, agreed with his opinions, and insulted Powers and Toobin. More from Morning Mix. Beach Week. Kavanaugh's calendar points to a booze-soaked D.C. area high school tradition. The wheels are off the wagon. Jimmy Kimmel reacts to Trump's bizarre news conference.